What up, fam? It's your boy Daily Crypto in the house, and today we're going to be doing some BTC and market updates. So I know this shit says XRP and Solana skyrocketing. Look, I'll do analysis on them. I don't come up with these titles, and I'm going to tell them not to make that title again. I swear to God. I was supposed to do this live stream yesterday, so I didn't really have any opportunity to make that. I wasn't paying attention. But I'm not going to be following trends. I'm not going to be shilling meme coins or whatever the hell that the team thinks that's going to be best for views. I'm here to build a community of traders and investors. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today. If anyone wants me to take a look at XRP, I will. Solana analysis will be included in this. We'll be doing BTC, ETH, Solana, and anything else that anyone wants to see. So just go ahead and drop it in the chat if you want me to analyze a token for you. Otherwise, I'm going to get down to business. So let me share my screen. No hate against my the team who be following trends or whatever, trying to analyze the SEO data, but pretty sure that's why our last YouTube got shut down because of dumb stuff like that. So yeah, we're not doing that. Anyway, we're gonna get started here with BTC price action first and foremost. Looking at BTC, what we can identify here is that if we zoom out, there has been for a long time a period of higher highs and higher lows. This has been going on since the low of 2023. We see it come up 2022, then 2023 starts making new highs all through 2024 and after 2025. So a lot of people were saying that, oh, there's still one more leg for the bull run. Yeah, okay, maybe that's going to happen. But we got to pay attention to some key things here. So while this uptrend was intact on the daily time frame, we had one touch of the 200 EMA, one complete penetration. Price managed to stay above this because important EMAs didn't cross. We see the 5200 cross here slightly and then pick back up. So that's usually a sign of what people call the death cross. This can be indicative of long-term downward price action. But then again, we had them open right back up here, 50 crossing up over the 200, which is known as the golden cross, signals long-term upwards price action. One thing that we can notice here is that the 100 EMA and the 200 EMA never crossed. So someone asked me about this the other day, and it's not as meaningful as the 5200 because there's not as many algorithms running that. But visually, we could see that this trend never actually turned to a downtrend completely because the 100-day moving average stayed above the 200-day moving average, exponential. So then we have price come up here, use this as support. And then once again, we have a couple penetrations of the 200. We have one here, we have one here, here, and here. We also see that again, the 50 came below the 200 and then came right back up for just a short moment. And the 100 and the 200 never crossed here. So we're facing a similar situation now. This almost looks exactly the same as this, even with that pre-descending wick. So we have here and here. Price come to the 200 EMA, looking for support. What we could look to be seeing is another bounce from here. So we're going to be giving you guys updates on a weekly basis. But looking from here, if price bounces, we're going to have one of two things occur. It's going to make a lower high, and that's going to signal the end, the top of the cycle. If it makes a higher high, we'll still be looking to see how long this can continue. So those are the two positive options we have. We have a consolidation option where we see here the first penetration raised up for a lower high and then brought us into a type of consolidatory phase before blasting off. So we could experience another consolidatory phase here, trapped between the EMAs that develop until it either takes off again for that last high that everyone's hoping and wishing for, or falls through to the downside. And then of course we have our worst case scenario where price just finds resistance off these EMAs immediately and shoots down. So there are a couple things that could happen here based upon just the price action in the EMAs, but the larger trend, like we looked at, saw higher highs, higher lows, and intra-trends can show lower highs and lower lows. So like, for example, here we had an intra-trend that was a downtrend while still resulting in higher lows. Then we have that break. Here's an intra-trend, which shows a downtrend, still resulting in higher lows. And then over here, we have an intra-trend, which is a downtrend, still resulting in higher lows and higher highs. So the overall picture is still an uptrend, and the short term is a pullback downtrend. This is what we're looking at here. So now with a couple of horizontal support and resistance points, what we're going to be looking at here, we can see sellers have shown interest in this range. And maybe a lot of people find this boring. I don't care if anyone finds it boring or not, because I know that the real traders and the real investors are going to value this information. If you're just here looking for the next meme coin, you're probably broke and lost all your money in the cycle by now. Sorry, not sorry. So anyway, sellers have shown resistance here in the past. This is where we're going to be looking for sellers to show resistance again, or interest. Resistance is seller interest. If it's above price action, it's resistance. So here we're looking at people have shown support buying this asset. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then a breakthrough, flip to resistance. So when a support or resistance roll is broken, it can then flip its roll. So this was support, just got served as resistance. Now we're going to need to penetrate this resistance, which is a horizontal resistance zone, as well as EMA resistance before we can even consider getting up to this high. And on the downside, if this 200 EMA is not held, and that swing low doesn't show any buyer interest, which it hasn't really shown any interest in this area in the past. If we look to the left, there is little interest here in sustaining price above this level. So logically, the next level that we could see if the 200 EMA doesn't hold is going to be this previous resistance level. That could flip its roll to become support. So that's where we're going to look to see price first in the negative aspect. And here's where we're going to see it first in the positive aspect. Now we're going to be looking at our dynamic support and resistances. What we can see here was a previous wedge in this triangle formed by this point and this point on the top side and these points on the downside. We had a penetration here causing a new high with a new high giving us a new trend line. We had support above that trend line, then we had the penetration. We had a re-entry of the previous structure, and now price is straying within both of those structures. So dynamically, we also just passed up this support level, and there's a lot of conflict here between sellers and buyers. Below that, we still have some more dynamic resistance, dynamic support points based on these two lows creating that projection, these two lows creating that projection, these two lows creating that projection, and then some further back lows creating more projection. So there's lots of areas where there could be dynamic interest from buyers, but those are at levels that people aren't going to be very happy about if you bought at 90K. And then combining those two, we're able to see where important support and resistances line up. So again, we have all these dynamic supports and resistances jumbled up right here. This is why price is getting very volatile. You know, people ask me all the time, hey, what's going on with Bitcoin? Is it because Trump did this? You know, the strategic reserve, he named this. If Trump talked about this, why is it going down? Guys, just look at the chart. The price action is king. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. So looking at some indicators real quick is confirmations or denials. By the way, drop me a shout out. Let me know you're here in the comments if you're watching this live. Really appreciate it. You never know what you might get. All right, so here, looking at the ADX, we see that it did peak up over the 25, but right now it's currently kind of fizzling out. There's not much strength in the current representation, and that's because it's all over the place. We have extreme highs, extreme lows. Everyone's fighting back and forth with control of this asset right now. Then here we have on the MACD, technically a bullish cross, but the signal lines are underneath the median. And if this is too fast for you, you know, maybe you would need a slower analysis before. You can always book me for a one-to-one or mentorship on our website, cryptouniversity.network. I'll gladly hold your hand and help you to interpret all this stuff. But essentially what we're seeing here is that even though we have a bullish cross, the overall trend is still down because this signal lines are under the median. So we see that in price reflection that there's not really any green bodies at all, despite the MACD being bullish. And then here on the RSI, we can see that price isn't exactly cheap. If it was under the 30, it would be considered oversold or cheap. So the price where BTC was considered cheap for the daily time frame is a little bit behind us. And there's no current divergence at this moment, either bullish nor bearish. So one thing that I did want to take a look at, though, was a previous divergence from a monthly time frame. So this is a little bit shocking maybe, but based on that divergence, we could see lows for BTC around 56K by the 1st of December of this year. That's honestly enough time for BTC to come up and create a new high or a lower high and fizzle out and penetrate these and give us the end of the cycle. I'm not saying that's going to occur tomorrow or next week, but that is on the horizon through December 1st until it either comes back to the top and invalidates this idea or comes out to the side and expires. Then we could be looking to satisfy this at any point in time. All right, so that's what we got for BTC. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a link to that in the chat. And then just in case we do got any traders looking to take advantage of this weekend, I'll show you guys what I've been looking into a little bit. Dropping into the 1 hour time frame, we're going to get a little bit more structure out of this. So here we can see these are our previous dynamic trend lines, which may give you a little bit more clarity in why things are behaving the way they are. What is that? We get resistance right along that line. Penetration flip here. We get resistance there. We get resistance here. Perfect touch here. Breakthrough, touch, breakthrough, touch, chill. So all these trend lines are meaningful, even on smaller time frames. You have to start from the larger time frame to get there. But additionally, we have a couple more trend lines here that lead us into the tightest wedge where price is currently conflicted at. So there's a little bit of a breakdown attempt here, and we can even see that this is respecting that trend line again, causing us one more small wedge. So there's conflicts in all levels of, or in all time frames of BTC right now, and strong indecision between buyers and sellers. So here's the buyers, here's the sellers, and you can do one of two things. You can show your support for Bitcoin and help drive the price up, because that's literally how this works. If you're not buying, price isn't going up. If people aren't buying, price isn't going up. So you can do one of two things, which is buy and show your support, or you can do nothing and not show your support. But if you're not doing anything, then don't be the person crying, like, why is BTC going down? Why number go down? Number go down because you don't take action. That's why number go down. You want to show support? Buy. That's literally what it translates to. If you don't want to show support, that's fine. Sit sideline, look for your shorts, drive the price down. Me personally, I don't care which way the price goes because I'm a trader. I just pulled out 40% short on BTC futures this morning. So, I mean, it's not, I don't care what direction it goes. As a trader, you shouldn't care. But if you're wondering why why number not going up, why number going down, it's exactly why. Because price is a reflection of human psychology. So there's our BTC update. We got MD Sharaf Hussein says fact news. I don't even know if you know how to spell fake, brother. But if you want to catch these hands, pull up ATX, and you already know we'll run it back. I'll give you the addy. Just shoot the DM to Crypto University. You already know the deal. Matter of fact, you can DM me, Deadly Crypto. I'll settle up on you, boy. I know what it is out here. All right, so we're moving into Ethereum now. Looking at, again, starting with simple price action. I will get my demonstration tool here, and we're looking at obvious high points and obvious low points first, so we can see price trapped within this range. It's been here for some time. We have downtrends all throughout, as well as consolidations and uptrends. So there's a bunch of different phases within a consolidatory phase. And one thing that we can see here that's different from, if I go back to the daily, different from BTC, remember BTC's 100 and 200 haven't crossed yet. So the 200 hasn't crossed, or the 100 hasn't crossed under, and the 50 hasn't even given us the death cross yet. Here on Ethereum, things are a lot different. We're looking at the 200, the 50-200 EMA cross here, and then the 100 actually crossed the 200 here. This isn't really looking good for Ethereum. We see a strong series of lower highs and lower lows, indicating that the current trend is in downtrend. We do have still, I mean, these are ascending lows, but these two are starting to bottom out. So we have ascending low, ascending low, ascending low, and then bottoming out here. Here we have ascending high, ascending high, ascending high, and then topping out here. So this long-term uptrend seems to be losing its momentum. Now, if we're going to take a look at a couple of different areas here, I'm going to show us first our horizontal support and resistance. So this zone comes from out here. This all-time high comes from this level. This price point comes from here. So these are all the origin points for everything that we're looking at here on Ethereum. And we can see, just zooming out again, where some of those other far out zones come from. We have a low point here that serves as resistance here. So first support, then flips for resistance, flips for resistance, resistance, flips for support, and then flips for support to where our current range is now. So this has been in the works for a long time, since 2022. And if you know anything about zones, or if you've taken a course with me, you should know that zones rarely need to be modified. If you're modifying zones constantly, it's probably not a zone and you're making things fit to where you want action to occur. Don't do that. Find where price fails to break above or below repeatedly. That's going to be your zone. If you need help identifying zones, you already know the deal. We're available for one-on-ones, mentorships, or you can join the alpha group. All that stuff's on our website. So again, here we have another low point with just a few touches this time. This one doesn't have as many. We can see here, this one's been respected a lot. This one only has a few touches. So it's a projection where people may find support in the future. If we lose this low here, where can we expect buyers to take interest? Potentially they could show interest here, or potentially they could show interest at this level down here, where they previously supported the price of Ethereum from falling below in the past. So then zooming into our current market range now, we can see a little bit better our candlesticks. And then we have that entry range. We haven't talked about this one yet because it's been created more recently, but we still have a high here. We have some lows here. So this was resistance, flip to support, support, flip to resistance, resistance, flip to support, flip to resistance. So break, penetrate, resistance. Now we're back at this level of support. So we're at an area where buyers have previously shown interest in purchasing Ethereum. If they fail to show that interest, we could see price down to this level. If they continue to show interest, or if they begin to show interest rather, because there is no interest being shown right now, then we could look to see price back up to these EMAs. First, we're going to try the 9 and the 26, which may be used as resistance. If we can penetrate those, then it may look like a consolidation before a crossover. So right now we have one of two options. ETH plummets back down to 1500 level, or ETH finds buyer support and makes an attempt to push back up to 25 and then back up to 28, back up to 3. So looking at some of our indicators to confirm and deny where we're going, we can see the ADX, this one isn't meaningful as well, or also just like BTC, we had that meaningful rise up, but right now the ADX is kind of fizzling out, not showing strength in the trend as it did previously. The MACD actually just had a cross to the bullish side. We see one bullish candle, and we see this crossing, the MACD crossing up over the signal line. But again, they're both under that histogram median. So the histogram is these bars right here, and the median is the line where they flip over. So when the signal line is above that, we generally have a nice bull trend. When the signal line is below that, we generally have a nice bear trend. And that's what we can see reflected in the price here. Signal line has been below the median for a while, and we have a strong resulting downtrend. Then in our RSI, what we're looking for is for price to be, if we're looking for buys, then we want it to be under the 30 level. We're closer to the 30 range. So logically speaking, it would be more reasonable to look for long entries on Ethereum, but not exactly at this moment. Remember, we need those reversal signs to come through. One reversal sign would be a divergence, but we're not seeing any divergences here on bullish side or on the bearish side to signal a continuation. So based upon where the RSI is right now, I'm not interested in taking any action. I need to see if there's going to be a divergence presented, or if we're going to see some other signs of reversal. So right now, Ethereum is considered relatively cheap, but it still could get cheaper, which means that RSI coming below that level of 30 again. All right, so that is our analysis for Ethereum. If you're in the house, let me know what's up. We're going to drop you a screenshot in the chat. I still see you out there, MD Sharif Hossein. I'll find you. All right, moving over to Solana. Remember, if you want me to check out an asset for you, all you got to do is drop it in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking, what you want me to see. If you have any questions for me, let me know. If you feel rugged because I didn't talk about meme coins, let me know. We can still do XRP if you guys really, really want to take a look at it. Fine. Just so I'm not a liar, we'll go ahead and take a look at XRP. But let me clean up some of my scrap here for you. I didn't realize I still had so much trade scrap. Okay, that's a good one. I need that one. I was just working in Solana heavily recently, so my bad for all this fuss. Let's see, we're getting rid of it, guys. We're getting rid of it. This is a good chance for you to let me know what assets you want me to take a look at. Okay, that should be about good. I think there's a couple more here I need to get rid of. All right. My fault. We're not cleaning this up sooner. There we go. Okay, so looking at Solana here, what we can see is we had a nice trend line here for resistance that's recently shown some penetration. Let me see if I can turn off my horizontal support and resistance. All right, that'll work. So we see that there was a trend line here created from these points where price is now attempting to break over. So we see that wick coming over and price is now settling out here, causing a rising floor. So buyers are seeming to show support in this level. That there should be a zone there, or a rectangle somewhere there. There we go. That'll work. Boom. So at this point, we see resistance in one area, penetration. Then we see support. So what happened? Price left through that zone, created another zone and another zone, trended above it, and now it's re-entered through some previous market structure, passed through that zone, use it as resistance, passed through this zone, use it as resistance, and now we're looking at support from where we have previously seen it. Guys, it's not magic. It's not because someone says something about it or because this guy tweets about it or because no one tweets about it. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. It is simply, strictly price action that we must refer to. If we only refer to price action, we will know what our possibilities are and what is going to occur. We knew from back here, there was a downtrend. It was gaining strength. Resistance was being used by the EMAs. We knew there was this layer to check, that layer to check, and that layer to check. We knew that if buyers did not show support here, then price would deviate to the next potential area. And if buyers did not support there, then price would deviate to the next potential area. So we know here that if buyers do not show support, then we could deviate to the next potential area, which unfortunately is going to be a long ways away. We can see that by these lows here being supported from the buyers. Then guys, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry. This is live. This is live here, and my nose is itchy. All right. I don't think there's any boogers in there. I don't feel them, but it's just like itchy. So sorry. I was just like half itching it, and I needed to get the full itch in. All right, got the full itch in. So again, buyers showed support in this area previously. Man, it better not be Gray texting me and telling me that he needs this thing. I swear to God. Okay, it's not Gray. Gray be texting me sometimes like, hey, you guys were there. He's like, hey, I need the restream. Get off the restream. I'm like, oh man, dude, that sucks. I just started. So make sure Gray wasn't blowing me up. Finally, we're getting back to this support zone. Here, obviously, people showed support, penetration. Then we come through here. We have resistance, penetration, support. So what could we expect, right? What can we expect if this level is not held? Then we could expect some deviation to this range. But if this level is held, then we could expect price to come back up and try these EMAs, because these EMAs are also looking similar to Ethereum. The 100 hasn't crossed the 200 yet, but the 50 has. So that's indicative of a potential long-term downtrend, maybe at least consolidation. But again, negative option one coming down towards this zone where we previously saw it around $80, $70. And then positive outcome one is buyers actually do support this price level here. Then we check the 26 EMA as well as this previous resistance support roll flip. If that is broken, then we can come up here and check these EMAs and this previous support resistance flip. And if that is broken, then we'll look to come up and retest these EMAs here. So something of that nature is what we'll be looking to execute. Then looking at our indicators, similarly, like our other two assets, the ADX did have a nice peak on an upstanding downtrend, but then we can see a reversal here, a little bit of a fizzle, a cool off in the ADX. So we could see that reflected by consolidation in this point. It actually didn't reverse, just kind of chilling out, failing to make new lows while failing to make new highs, consolidating. Then here we have a little bit more of a bullish trend developed on the histogram, and we see that signal has been flipped for a while, but again, it's beneath the median. So overall, we're looking at a downtrend there, and from this time point, we can see if we look directly up, it was in a downtrend. So there's a little bit of a cross here recently, but if we look directly up, it hasn't had much of a positive effect. It's been more of a consolidatory effect. And my nose is itching again, so sorry. I should hire a nose itcher. A nose scratcher. Need my nose scratcher here. Nose scratcher. So on the RSI, what we're looking for, again, any divergences or oversold indicators. And all these assets are looking really similar right now with some slight key differences like we saw in the EMAs. Here, again, no divergence. If we had a divergence, there'd be variation in slope. They would both go in the same direction. Same for the top. So we have no bearish, no bullish divergence right now. There was a little bit of a divergence back here, but that's technically already played out. If I can find the right line there, boom, there we go. So there was a divergence back here, but as we can see, that bearish divergence already played out nicely. So again, I mean, if you were back here, you know, if you had previously taken one of our courses, or you were an alpha member, or you had done a mentorship with me, you would know that a divergence signals a potential trend reversal. You would know how to measure it, just like we did for our BTC. I didn't show you how to measure it, but you would see how we had that projection there, and you can see, hey, over the next few days, right? If we measure from this point to this point, yeah, over the next 58 days, we can see 11% or greater decrease. Oh, well, 58 days later, where's 58 days later? Here's 58 days later. Let me put a vertical line there. All right, let's see what happens over the next 58 days. Oh my God. Is it because Donald Trump said something negative? Is it because, why is it because? It's because technical analysis. It's because we're not speculating on, no, okay, let me simmer down now. It's technical analysis, guys. If you're able to conduct your analysis perfectly, you'll be able to identify market situations whenever like right now, there's not a lot of information in the market. People telling me, hey, Deadly, what's going on? What's happening? I don't know what's happening. I can't see the future. I don't have a crystal ball. But whenever the signs tell me, hey, this is starting to pick up strength, this is showing me a divergence, yeah, then we can reasonably forecast what's going to occur. So that's what the deal was with Solana there. That's where we currently are. Again, you're not going to like this, but if we don't hold the support here, going back to 80-ish dollars, if we do get support here, maybe we'll try out check 181, see if we can create a new high. So I'll get you a screenshot of that in the chat as well. And we'll see if we have any questions or comments. Let me know. No questions, no comments. Very interesting. All right, moving into our last asset, XRP. Going to be doing an analysis of XRP. So look, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I need to go to another chart too, just to make it clear. Let me bring this over here because I don't have all the price action history on the chart that I was just showing you. So we're going to start from another chart really quick because I want everyone to understand XRP, my thoughts and standpoint on XRP. Let me just go to the Bitstamp one. Okay. So here, I've conducted a similar analysis on Bitstamp, but I just want everyone to know this is what we're looking at right here. This is what I'm trying to point out. First and foremost, we look back to 2018. Look at that high point, $3.32. Okay, $3.32. $3.32. That's where the high point was. That's where the high point was back then. Okay, here's where the high point was before that and before that. So a lot of people are going to say a lot of different things about a lot of different charts on Bitstamp, and on most recorded exchanges, the high price was around $3. To be specific, around $3.31. Okay, right here. Price has been down all this time. And then in our 2021 rally, it never even recouped that. It never even saw that high again. Okay, never even saw that high again. Instead, we created a trend line like this, a breakout line. So this is what happened here. This was the TA we were looking at for a very long time. Okay, boom, long-term downtrend. And now look, price rose up very quickly, very unhealthily. And what are we seeing there? Rejection. Where? At previous all-time high. So we always look back to the chart to see where people have shown interest in taking what action. And around these price points, people took action in selling. So all this lead up for all this profiteering here on XRP is just so that you can get dumped on. Do not make the same mistake of holding XRP because everyone's telling you, oh, it's going to $5. It's different this time. It is not different this time. XRP will return to sub $1. It's historically proven to occur time and time again. Anytime it gets over $1, comes back down. If it's ever been over $1, came back down. It's over $1 right now. What are we seeing here? Now we're finally starting to see lower highs and a little bit of higher lows. We're wedging out here, but coming back to our other chart. So that's where this trend line comes from, because I trade on HTX perpetuals. And if you zoom out back here, you won't be able to see that price action. Here we got our little dinosaur. It says this is the start of this is the very beginning, right? Because this is when HTX picked up the perpetual pair. That's what I trade. I'm a trader, so I do all my charting on perpetuals. So if you're wondering where this floating line is coming from, it's coming from another high. It's coming from a previous all-time high. And it's very, very, very funny how price just went above that ever so slightly and immediately started getting dumped on. So me personally, again, this all leads back to what my opinion on this asset. If you guys want a shitcoin charted, this is it right here. This is a shitcoin. The first early blocks of this have been lost. You know, the record's spoofed. There was a pre-mine here. It's a fugazi, it's fugazi. But I'm personally going to look to short this. Whenever I could see some important market structure breaks, like let me see here, like right here. Okay, actually, we'll start there with the dynamic support and resistance, because this is very easy to observe. Right here, guys, we're looking at dynamic resistance. We've seen seller interest here, seller interest here. Price shot up, sellers showed interest. What is that wick representative of? Seller interest. If buyers had this body, it'd be a strong green body. So sellers were pushing it down. Buyers tried to take back the price. They showed up really strong. They caught the sellers off guard. And then the seller said, oh, no, you didn't. And that they pushed off perfectly from where this point it was in projection, right? So that's why, I'm trying to tell you guys, you can always use 2 points as a projection. So anytime you have 2 points, you can use them as your projection. Look, we have 2 points right here. So this line is laid across from here and projected out into the future. And then what happened? Technical analysis happened. Buyers attempted to move the price up. Sellers saw what was going on, and they held this line. This was their front line. This is a war. This is an overall war between bulls and bears every single day. Every candlestick is a battle. Every trend line is a front line. Think about it like a war. When troops push in and they're defending a front line, we have troops here. People are battling for this front line. Whoever loses this front line retreats, and the other opposing troops advance to the next front line. This is exactly what's happening all the time in the markets. So we saw that there. They had this line, sellers step back in, and now we're in an area of conflict. So I'll just play it out. We'll play it out to where we are right here, right now. So this is the current market price that we're seeing here. Prices in a conflict. We still have, it looks pretty healthy here as far as the EMAs go. Looking back at Solana, that's already flipped to a strong downtrend. That is depth. We need some help here ASAP. Same for Ethereum. If we want to see higher prices, we need to see that flip up soon. Because right now, the way it looks, that's not looking good. BTC, we see something similar here with those EMAs still supporting a possible uptrend. And then here is kind of the same. So we have the 50, 26, and the 9 EMA right here being used as resistance, because price is currently underneath them. And price has tried to get above them several times, but just cannot do it. So now we're trying the 100 EMA for support. We recently breached it. We're trying it again right here. And if that doesn't hold, we're looking to come back down towards this dynamic trend line where people have shown interest in buying in the past, or this 200 EMA, which is the mathematical average price that people have paid over the past 200 days, because this is the daily time frame. And then looking at our horizontal support and resistances here, we see our swing high created up at this value, $3.40, just shy of $3.50. We have this high point here, creating a little bit of previous support and recent resistance. Then we have this point here that was a short-term high point, flip to a support point, and support point here. And then we have some untested ranges back here. So when price was moving at those levels, we were using those highs as potential flips. Here, the first high flip to a support just for a brief moment, hasn't been used more than that. Here, this resistance did not flip to a support yet and almost caught that range of the wick, but we could say that this was supported by the EMAs as well as this range. And then putting them back on, we can see where our dynamic support lines up with our dynamic resistance. So here we have a price conflict. This is a price conflict here. We have indecision between buyers and sellers. Who is going to win this war? Right now, we are locked in a battle. The buyers and sellers are locked in. Sellers are trying to take all of this real estate and push price down, while the buyers are trying to dominate this real estate and push price into an area that we've never seen it before. So they're trying to go for the capital of XRP, whatever city that is. They're trying to invade the city and take new all-time highs, while the sellers want to return price back to its previous lows so that we can make profits on the short, because we don't care about this token and we don't have hopes and dreams for it to be, the banker's coin is going to be the American favorite coin. It's going to be the number one coin. There is no number one coin. It's a decentralized future. Well, Bitcoin, obviously number one by stats. If you look at the leaderboard, Bitcoin's in first place. But that's meaningless. The future is decentralized. There will be many, 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 many tokens used. Do not speculate on the future of XRP as the end of crypto, the only thing that everyone's going to use. That's not it. That's far from it. Because I promise you, I'll never touch this. I will never, ever conduct a transaction in XRP just because. One, because it's bad, but also two, just because I can say I told you so. All right, and then looking at some other indicators for this asset. Taking a look at the ADX here. So the ADX had a bunch of steam reflected right here in this area. If we look up in the chart, we can see that this was a downtrend here. And then whenever it lost that steam, it started to show down on the ADX, was because that there was a green candlestick there. And if you're wondering, Deadly, how come the RSI goes down and the price goes down, but the ADX sometimes goes up and the price goes down? Well, it's because it's a momentum indicator. I can tell you a little bit more about it if you want to book a mentorship with me or become an alpha member. But essentially, this shows a measure of momentum and not direction. So when this is going up, you look to see what trend is active and trade with it. When it's going up, there can be a downtrend. So anyway, looking into the current state of the ADX, there is no momentum in this trend at all. The trend that's established is none. We can see that price has came up high and got that volatility quickly off that wick. So we're ranging in here. So it makes sense that the ADX is not shaping up because we're in a consolidation. Remember, a consolidation can be, let me grab some infographics real quick. Infographics, working on infographics, chart patterns. So a consolidation can be either this, like a rectangle with entries from the bottom or the top. We're not really interested in that right now. The consolidation can be the rectangle where price struggles to make new highs in a horizontal range and struggles to make new lows in a horizontal range. Or the consolidation can be a triangle, failing to make new highs that are descending and failing to make new lows that are ascending. So in any of these cases, these are consolidations too. So a consolidation is failure to make new highs or new lows. It can be horizontal or diagonal. This is a consolidation. We need to see who's going to win. If the sellers maintain dominance here, they're going to push price back down to this level, potentially down to that 200 EMA, and then hopefully penetrating that so I can get high off of all the tiers of XRP holders again. But if XRP holders are going to win the next battle, which they will not win the war, I promise you. If they win the next battle, then buyers are going to show support either at the 100 EMA, or if price does take a turn down, then they can show support at the 200 EMA. But we'll have to see a penetration of this dynamic trend line, which lines up with this horizontal resistance right here. So first we'll have to break these EMAs, then that dynamic and horizontal resistance, then that swing high. We'll see what all that looks like. But it's going to be a tough journey. Looking at the MACD, we can see here again, signal lines are under the median. So overall trends down. We do have a bit of a bullish cross, but price wasn't really reflecting a bunch of green candlesticks in that time. And then here on the RSI, what we'll be looking for is any signs of divergence, but we're not able to see any signs of divergence at this time. There was one divergence back here, again, similar to Solana. So again, if you guys were holding this, just for an example's sake, if you had any understanding of technical analysis whatsoever, you'd be able to be like, okay, this is what you would have been seeing in real life at the time. You're like, huh, XRP is at all-time high. And a lot of people were like, man, it's going to the moon. I'm just going to hold on to it forever. I should buy more. And if that was you, if you bought more right there, you're probably down. And you're wondering, why did I do that? Because you weren't able to observe that there was divergence. You didn't know that when price strays far away from the 9 EMA, it mathematically has to snap back. See, these are all things that you can learn from our courses at Crypto University, within the halls of the Alpha Group, or if you booked a mentorship with me, you would have been able to see that price was going to be looking for a downtrend or a reversal, because this is a counter trend signal. So you got to train your eyes to spot that. You have to be able to look at these highs here and the highs here to see if there's any divergence, as well as the lows. You have to be able to do that for the lows too, because finding divergence along the bottom of an asset can also give you a good opportunity to either continue an entry, continue a long trend, or get your reversal signal, depending upon if it's hidden or regular. So that's what we got for XRP there. Satisfied the title, even though I didn't do it in a clickbaity way. I hate that clickbait stuff. I hate clickbait. So thank you guys for coming out to the stream. I don't see any chats other than MD Sharif Haynes saying fact news, bro can't even spell fake right. But other than that, no one else came out to the chat. Even if you didn't drop anything in the chat, I really do appreciate your time here. Hopefully you got something from the analysis we conducted today. We'll see you guys next Friday. Sorry I blew the stream yesterday. It happens. I'm really sorry about that, guys. But next Friday, promise, 12:30, we'll be right here back on the show, so that way I can give you a BTC and market update. Make sure that title's not clickbaity and maybe get my handsome face on it. So thanks again, guys, for coming out, and we'll see you in the next one.